Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, STA Farms. So today, I just wanted to do a really quick video kind of detailing our round baler here. We've had some comments and questions about how it works and kind of about, the details of it. So I just want to do a real quick video, just putting it out there, just so you know what we use and what we got. So hang with me and we'll get started. Okay guys, so this here is our round baler. It is a New Holland roll belt 450 utility. It has been an excellent round baler. It makes 4x5 size rolls. You've seen it in operation on, I don't know, the last 2 or 3 of our videos or so. So how it works, right here is the tongue. Right here, you hook that up to the drawbar on your tractor. You hook your PTO here up to the tractor. That turns and that operates everything in the baler. The hay, it comes in right here. That's the pickup teeth. You want to set that, I don't know, about an inch or so above the ground. You set it above the ground where it's not hitting the ground, but it's low enough that it picks the hay up. Now, you can see in our video, you can hear, we had one comment about what's that noise, that banging noise. That's this right here. So as the hay's coming up, it lifts these up, and then they will bounce on these round things right here, these guards right here. And I'll put some video in this, or I'll put some footage in this video right here showing this right here in action, how it works. And then this lever right here is how you adjust your pickup. You turn it counterclockwise to lower it. You turn it clockwise to raise it. And that adjusts your pickup height. You don't, like I say, you don't want your teeth dragging the ground because you will break them, bend them. You don't want that. Then as the hay's fed into the bale chamber, get back here where you can kind of see it. As the hay's fed in to the baler, it goes inside here to the bale chamber, and that roller right there rolls, and then those belts roll, and it's got 2 or 3 other rollers in there, and they all roll, and they put pressure on the hay as it goes in, so that starts rolling the hay, obviously in a round bale. And you control it by this lever right here. This is your density control. As you can see, it says bale density control valve. So when I first bought it, the salesman, he come out, he was excellent. He stayed out here with me for a couple hours. We got it adjusted. We got the height adjusted. It makes 4x5 size bales. You can adjust it smaller. You can't go any bigger, but you can adjust it smaller. So we have it adjusted to where it makes just under the max size bales, so it doesn't stretch out these belts, because these belts will stretch. But once we got the correct density, like I liked it, I've not messed with that. To be honest with you, in the fall, I probably should loosen the density so they're not as tight. It seems like in my experience with cutting hay, the spring hay, it's your longer stems, and I like them tight, so I bale them tight. But when I do that in the fall, it's usually blades of grass, and sometimes their belts so tight that the cattle can't eat it. They just basically make a hole inside the middle of the bale, and then I have to move the hay ring so they can get to it and rub it on there with their heads where they can eat it. But anyway, so the hay goes inside the bale chamber. These belts and the rollers on the inside, they turn. I'll put some video in here of the chamber open and a bale coming out, and then you can see the rollers inside turning. And then when the bale comes out, it comes out and it lands on this is called a kicker. And basically what that does, it causes the bale to roll back away from the baler just a little piece. Some balers don't have those, and what you do, and I do it anyways, I back up before I release the bale, but you actually don't have to on this, because it hit that kicker and it causes it to come back just far enough that you can stop, lift your gate, let the bale out, and then close your gate back. But I always just back up out of habit. So, but that's what that does. Okay, I'm back around front here, and you have these this right here is a hydraulic hose. This right here is the lights. It controls the lights on the back, so if you're driving on the road, people can see if when your lights are flashing. And this right here controls the bale monitor. The monitor goes onto the tractor, and I'll go over that as well. But what happens whenever the monitor goes off telling you that you have a full bale, which you can see right here, this is the size of your bale, and this is the max size right here. You cannot go past that. We have ours set to about right here, and like I say, that just helps with your belts. But there's a sensor in here that you adjust, and this thing here has a piece on the back that when it touches, it sends a signal to the bale monitor on the tractor, and it beeps. It sends a beep noise. Well, when you hear that, you have, I think it's like 3 seconds or 5 seconds, something like that, to stop before it starts tying. It automatically starts tying. Now you can set it to where it's manual tie. I'll show you that on the monitor whenever I get that. And then they call these the owl eyes. This right here is your string. This lets you know. You look back here, and these will be turning. And as long as these are turning, that means the bales are tying. The string is tying, is wrapping around the bale. It is common, as you've seen in our last video, it is not uncommon for the string to get tangled up and break whenever it goes to a different bale of twine. So you can see the twine in here. Whenever it goes from one to another, it's not uncommon for it to break. What happened in our last video was I had the knot too thick, and it couldn't go through the eyes down here. Right there, it's got more behind it. It couldn't go through that, and it broke. So I had to rethread it, which is not too bad to rethread. But anyways, the reason they cut these out is so you can see if it's tying. Because if something happens, you're not going to know your baler's not tying. You're not going to have enough string on it. Usually one will be tying and the other one won't. They usually don't both break at the same time. So, but anyways, I'll tell you if there's a problem with the twine. This right here, when it starts tying, this here goes all the way up. And it stays here for so long, then it moves down to here, and then each one of these black lines here, it goes to, and then at the very end, it cuts. And that's how it ties. And like I say, on the monitor, you can have it set for automatic tie or manual tie. We keep ours on automatic tie. The only time I switch it to manual tie is on the very last bale. It's very, very rare to have a final bale that is exactly the size you need it. It's usually smaller. And what I do is when I get finished with hay, this is not down here to where it tells the baler to start tying or tells the monitor to start tying. So I'll switch it over to manual tie, and I'll extend the arms for the string, and then I go to each one of these and count. Just depends on how big my bale is in there. But I go to each one of these and count, and then take it to the end, and it cuts the string. Now this baler here, it does not have the bale size monitor on the baler. It does not have it on the monitor. So what you have to do is you have to keep an eye on your bale in here and make sure it's fairly even through here. Now we have a V-rake, and our V-rake is set at the pickup width, which is 4 feet. Now, you've seen us having trouble because our hay was so thick. 2 reasons for that. Main reason is the hay was so thick that when your windrows are that big, raking with a V-rake, they want to kind of fold over instead of get a tight windrow. If we had gathering wheels on this baler, there's just basically rubber wheels that you put on the side here, and it kind of sticks out at an angle. And when your windrows are wider than the pickup here, it rolls the hay over. That would help tremendously. I need to get a set of those. I likely will get a set of those. They're not cheap, but they are, I think they'd be well worth the investment. And the other reason we had issues with our windrows is my rake. I've got to be doing some repairs on my rake. I think I've wore one of the pins out. It's letting one of the sides of the rake move, which is making the windrows bigger than what it's set, which is set for 4 feet. If your windrows are smaller than 4 feet, if your hay's not very thick, well then that's when you really have to watch inside, making sure across here that your bale is a consistent size. Because this side over here is the side that determines, that tells the baler, and which tells the monitor when to tie. So if you're putting all your hay on this side, you're gonna have a lopsided bale. And even worse, if your bale is higher over here than it is over here, you're gonna have too much hay over here, and it's not gonna tie when it needs to. So you gotta look in there and make sure your bale's fairly level, fairly consistent. Which, since we invested in that V-rake, it's been a lot easier. We don't really have to worry about that, because the pickup is the width of the baler. All right, as you can see, this is the monitor here. This here's how you turn it off. It's right here. If you push it this way, it's auto tie. If you push it this way, it's manual tie. Then this right here is extend and retract for your tie arms. So you don't have to mess with this unless you're doing a manual tie. And like I said earlier, let's get it to focus here. Like I said earlier, I only do the manual tie on the last bale because it's never perfect. It's usually smaller than normal. I've had a couple that I've been able to get just a hair bit bigger, but I don't like getting it that big. But anyways, that's what that is. And then right here in the middle, this is the amount of twine. That's kind of wore off, but that's low, for L for low, M for medium, and high. I keep it on medium. The high would be for like clover hay, stuff like that you'd want more hay. The low, honestly, I could probably get by with low in the spring, as long because you're cutting stems. In the fall, I just need to use medium because there's more blades. But that's what that is, just less wraps. So this here is a speaker. Whenever the bale reaches the desired size, the baler will buzz, or the monitor here will buzz. It lets out a buzz. All right, guys, so that's it. That's the behind the scenes of our New Holland roll belt 450 hay baler. One last thing I want to get to real quick is how we keep track of the amount of hay that we have. We don't have a bale counter. I can get one and put on there. I just haven't. But what I did is I purchased this simple clicker counter here, and I don't know if you can see that, saying 107. Like I mentioned in our last video, like I mentioned in the video where I was moving hay, we were 2 off. We actually had 109 rows this year for the spring cutting. That's how we keep track of it. We just wear it around our neck, and as it buzzes, we just click it. And usually we are off 1 or 2, but that's not bad over 100, 115 rows or whatever. All right, guys, so that's the behind the scenes of our hay baling. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and be sure you check out our video on baling hay that I'm gonna put on screen right here. Be sure you click on that. Give us a like, a share, and a subscribe, guys. And put down in the comments below where y'all watching from. It's really, really interesting to see where everybody's from that's watching our videos. Listen, we really appreciate the support we've had. We've had way more support than what we ever imagined we would. And we really appreciate you guys for doing that. And we'll catch you on the next one. See y'all.